David, if somebody calls me conspiracy theorist now and say that everything what you said is just theory and conspiracy, can you offer them any proof of what you're talking?
Yes, that is a very good question and a very important question. Personally, I have never been interested, and I am not interested in weird theories. I am somebody with his feet on the ground and with a clear mind. My father raised me with an understanding of the need to be intelligent. I read hundreds of books as a child. I was also fascinated by history. I lived in the ancient city of Bruges, a very historic city with history all around us. I was often in those museums. I loved to know about our world. I loved to know about history, about everything that's going on. I have never been interested in people with crazy, wild stories. But at some point, you are forced to start looking beyond the veil. Because I am a media expert, I have a master's degree in visual media communication. I was granted the exceptional, very rare permanent visa into America, which is called ordinary ability. This is only given to Nobel Prize winners, Pulitzer Prize winners. It is given to people who can prove that they are leaders worldwide in their field of expertise. It is hardly ever granted to anyone. I was the representative of the Royal Academy of Arts in Belgium to the King of Belgium. I have worked with world leaders. I am right now working with several presidential candidates. So I'm not a fool. I'm not somebody who is involved in nonsense. I must say, as a media expert, that from the very start, I have learned that media is not used to inform people. Media is used to control people. Let me give you a simple example. In America, there is a movement of thousands of scientists in the field of natural sciences. They have made a statement to the world that the theory of Darwinian evolution is not scientifically proven. They have all the studies, all the evidence for this. They've made a historic declaration to humanity that there is no evidence, no proof for the theory of evolution. This is incredibly epic. I sent that to the editor-in-chief of the largest newspaper in Belgium, where I'm from. This man replied to me very angry and told me never to send him anything like that again. That is just a very simple example of how they're not interested in accurately informing the people about important world events. They are pushing a certain narrative. The media, the news media, is owned by a very small group of people. We have a film on our website called Monopoly. This film documents on screen all the financial data that show that the news media around the world in every nation is owned and controlled by the very same people. The corporation Vanguard and BlackRock, they own the majority of every in the whole world. So they can determine what the direction is of all these industries. George Soros is a multi-billionaire from Hungary who has been rigging elections around the world. He is known to be a nation destroyer. He pays for national protests, he bribes politicians, he buys the news. And it is very well known that he recently purchased hundreds of television and radio stations in South America to control the narrative. Bill Gates is the same. He buys the news. He gives so-called grants or donations to organizations that work in the field of healthcare or media or education. They buy their power into those organizations so that they can control what the people hear, what the people are being taught. Now, the term conspiracy theorist or conspiracy theory was invented by the CIA in the 1960s. They had murdered John F. Kennedy. That is now being exposed on an international scale in America by President Donald Trump and by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. They are now revealing the hidden files that JFK was assassinated, the CIA, Israeli Mossad, because he wanted to eliminate the controlling influence of Israel over America. He did not want America to be a sub-state of Israel. So they killed him. People saw that this was very suspicious. So what did the CIA do? They invented for the first time the label conspiracy theory. They started printing in all the newspapers and all the magazines and saying on all the television platforms, this is just a conspiracy theory. People are not right in their mind. Don't them, it's just foolish. And they have been using this psychological mind control methods for the past decades to shut down any actual news reporting, any independent investigation. Anyone who has a mind to think for himself, his internal discernment, who looks at facts, who is not a blind, unquestioning, dead follower of the TV, but people who have intelligence, who observe, who notice discrepancies, lies, conflicting facts, untruths. These people start thinking, they start looking deeper, and we have compiled a large amount of evidence reports on our stopworldcontrol.com. This website shows documentaries that present all the proof, that show all the documents, that reveal information with the references for people to go check it for themselves. We also have a World Freedom Directory, which consists of almost 1,000 international organizations, media organizations, medical organizations, business organizations, all science and activism organizations, all stand up against the agenda for world domination. So if a person says it's a conspiracy theory, it is only an illustration of how indeed the CIA has effectively shut down the brain, the discernment of the people, where people never ask for proof when they watch television. If they watch the news, they believe anything the news says. But if actual investigators, actual scientists that are not bought, that are not paid to push narrative, but independent, honest scientists, when they come forward, they information, data, studies, show a different story, then the people say, I need more proof. Show me if this is. Why? Because we have been programmed questioningly anything the man says and to absolutely reject everything else. Listen to anyone of the official narrative. That is how strong the mind control works in our world.